What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Matt, and you're listening to Take Back Your Health, where we talk about all things health and ways to help you be the best version of you. Hey everybody, this is Dr. Matt. This is Take Back Your Health podcast, and I'm here with a special friend of mine, Catherine Lundberg with Clarity Life Coaching. Catherine, welcome.
Thanks, Matt, for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about Clarity Life Coaching for those that don't know what that is. What business that is.
Clarity Life Coaching is in its 5th year of business.
Oh, awesome.
I focus on mindset, leadership, and executive coaching.
Okay.
And what I do is I help people identify the habits of thinking in their mind that are derailing them from showing up as their best, both personally and professionally.
Gotcha. So you're a habit finder. Right? A bad habit finder.
Well, we find the good ones too, because we want to. I want to teach my clients how to leverage their good ones.
Absolutely. So let's kind of dive right into it. So, why does having a coach matter more than just doing it by yourself?
Because we're limited with our own habits of thinking to begin with. Sometimes we can't see a healthy or a proper perspective.
Exactly.
It's good for everybody to have a board of directors, if you will, that can help them with different areas of their life.
Well, you have somebody that can point things out that you don't recognize you're doing.
Exactly.
I mean, I know I've got some habits that I do that I don't realize I do it because I've done it for so long that you don't see it until somebody points it out. It's like you don't notice something's wrong until somebody points it out, right?
Exactly. That's right. Yeah.
So that's good because everybody's personality is different. Everybody's perspective is different. But what are some things that you tend to help people with the most? Like, what are some big things that you find very common that people usually struggle with?
Well, first of all, I like to be really clear on identifying habits of thinking. You are not your habits of thinking.
Yep.
Thinking habits are situational. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people think, oh, your assessment is based on personality or temperament and whatnot. It's really not about that at all. So some of the things that can go through someone's mind that you might not be aware of, which, by the way, 90% of our thoughts we are not aware of, can cause you to do things such as procrastination, or you can get triggered into being defensive in a conversation where the other person isn't even on attack. You can be feeling like you need to say yes to someone and be people-pleasing.
Yeah.
Or let your boundaries go by the wayside just because of thinking maybe, oh, this person isn't going to like me if I say no. There's so many more examples than that.
It's a lot of self-harm in that as well when we're not set, because I myself am a people pleaser. I don't always set boundaries, and those are things that we do because we don't want to make somebody feel bad and we want people to like us, but we end up kind of feeling void in ourselves because we're not giving ourselves that self-love. And we'll get into this a little bit more probably in a few minutes, but I know you have a tool that you use for Habit Finder. It's a little assessment quiz that you have people take that kind of helps, I guess, kind of navigate. Explain about the little Habit Finder test that you do.
The assessment is based on axiological mathematics.
Okay, so for people like me that don't speak that.
The doctor that developed it was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, and millions of dollars have gone into it. So it's actually quite extraordinary that it's offered free of charge.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yes, each of the habits of thinking are given a mathematical value.
Gotcha.
So I love it because I'm not the one saying, hey, you've got this problem.
Yeah.
Because people will become defensive
Oh, absolutely.
when you say that.
Oh, absolutely.
But if it's just, hey, this is the math. It's like a blood test. You can't argue with it. It's
You can't deny your DNA.
Exactly. Yeah.
But how does it work? Are there specific, and I mean, I took the test and we haven't gone over it yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing the results. I'm a little scared, but what, are there certain things that people, like certain categories that people fall into, or how does it work?
There are categories of thinking. There's 6 major
That's what I was getting
groupings
into.
of thinking. 3 of them are intrinsic, how you see yourself.
3
of them are extrinsic, how you see the world.
Gotcha.
So one of those, for example, would be connection and connections with other people. And that would show how you are connecting with other people and the habits of thinking that you have that are keeping you from connecting fully.
Gotcha. And I took a peek at my results, and it said that I'm very empathetic, which I could have told you that. But it also said high risk on there, and I don't know. I mean, we can go over that later on my. But what does that kind of mean as far as somebody?
You
taking
really want to go there today?
Well, I don't want to go there right now, but no. But for somebody that wants to take this survey on their own and they see the results, what high risk, low risk? What does that kind of mean?
So there's 3 different colors that code where you are as far as how you test out.
Yeah.
Green is where you want to be.
Oh, okay.
You want to stay in the green hood. That's good thinking. You want to leverage that. Yellow is low risk. Orange is moderate risk. And red is high risk.
Yeah.
And addressing the red is really important because, for example, you may be extremely empathetic, but right now you're testing out high at risk. That's usually caused from burnout. That's caused by being around so many people all the time that you become indifferent.
Yeah.
And so it will identify that indifference. And then once you have an awareness of, wow, I don't have wide enough margins in my own life where I can decompress so that I can really, truly show up for people the way I want to.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I just wanted to kind of dive a little bit into that, so that way, because we'll put the link there so people can take it for themselves. And I just want to kind of give a little information about it. But getting back to kind of what you do to help people, what are some common mind traps that we tend to fall into that you see that you have clients that usually tend to fall into?
One of the biggest, I would call it an epidemic in our country today, is resistance. Resistance is at an all-time high.
Resistance to anything, or resistance?
It's resistance to bringing down your walls, showing up as your authentic self,
So
and
vulnerability?
allowing people to come in. Yes,
So vulnerability. Okay, yeah, okay. I was making sure I was following you. Yeah.
Resistance is caused situationally. There's a lot of things going on in the world. It's a really weird time to be alive.
Oh, yeah. Tell me.
There are 5 triggers of resistance. One is fear. Fear can be caused by unmet expectations of life.
Yep.
You know, when life shows up differently than you want it to, or you thought it would, or where you'd be by now. Fear is another one. Fear makes you put your foot to the gas and go fast, because you're afraid if you slow down that it's going to catch up with you.
Yep.
A third one would be trauma. Anything from your past that caused trauma can cause you to show up in a way that's very resistant. And fatigue's another one, being just
burnout,
tired. There's a lot of people in this world right now that are not just tired, but they're soul tired. Do you know what I mean by that?
I don't think so. Like they're
tired, just when it's like, this is all I've got. I have nothing left.
They feel drained.
Yeah. It's physical. It's emotional.
A lot of sickness and a lot of pain. I mean, I deal with patients in my office that are just hurting, but they don't physically have anything wrong with them. Right. They're just mentally and emotionally exhausted, and that can cause physical problems. People don't understand that.
That would be fun to have them take the assessment, because I can show you exactly where it's showing up.
Oh, I'm sure. And what's so scary is when you take it or when you dive into what you do, you are able to pinpoint what they have problems with, and they look at you like you're some kind of voodoo witch doctor. It's like, you don't know me. How did you know that? Like, you know, it's kind of scary how accurate those things are. Yeah. And you talk about being resistant. A lot of people are also resistant because they don't want to be analyzed. They don't want to think about it. They're like, I'm fine. I don't want to get into it.
I run into that a lot.
Oh,
people have to be open. Usually they're not open until they get to the point where they're hurting so badly. It's like triage work. But the walls of protection go up higher and higher and higher and higher as they become more tired, more stressed, more triggered by trauma. Well, it's just and more afraid.
Well, of course. Well, it's just like therapy. I mean, nobody wants to go to therapy, but they realize that is ultimately one of the best things that you can do for yourself, for self-care, because, you know, May being Mental Health Awareness Month, we don't think about the mind as much as self-care because, we think about our bodies and getting your hair done, your nails done, getting a massage, chiropractic, things like that. But we don't think about what's up here because that controls everything else down here.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought therapy up because I want to really differentiate the difference between coaching and therapy.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and tell us the difference?
Therapy addresses things in your rearview mirror, things that are in your past. And that could be the trauma, anything that hasn't been healed or resolved. If I have a coaching client that can't move forward, I'll recommend that they see a therapist first so they can go over that because I am not a therapist. I think what I get to do is way more fun because I've got the entire windshield.
Yeah.
It's everything that's in front of you. It's who do you want to be 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, and then engineering that. And it's really fun to be able to reverse engineer it by exactly deciding who it is that you want to be and what you want that to look like, and then creating a roadmap to that and figuring out how to get there.
Well, then that's even cool because that should give people some more perspective as well because, your trauma, your therapy, that's the rear view mirror. How small that is compared to the windshield is much bigger. So people should think that don't be stuck in the past because how small that is compared to the window, which is 10 times bigger looking forward and everything you're missing. If you can't go forward if you're always looking back.
Yes. And sometimes you're going to get bugs on your windshield, but that's okay too.
I like that analogy. Yep. Absolutely. So what are some ways that you've helped people kind of divide and conquer ways of thinking or, getting to those good habits, or analyzing their habits, or even becoming more vulnerable and more trusting to open up to do that?
I ask them a lot of questions and questions that really cause them to reflect and think about why they do the things they do or why they don't want to do the things they do. I have had several clients that have had life-changing experiences from it. One local entrepreneur was ready to throw in the towel in her marriage. And I just asked her some questions about her own behavior in their interactions. And she realized that it wasn't just him, that she was contributing to the demise as well. And when she flipped the script on the things that she was saying and doing, it saved their marriage. And to this day, she's extremely grateful. I'm like, hey, you did all the work. All you had to do is have the awareness.
You just brought attention
of what
to
it was that was going on. Another young woman got a promotion at work, and she had imposter syndrome big time. And she wanted to quit her job because she wasn't sure that she was good enough to do it. And she was afraid that she would let her boss down. And she was really unclear on what it was that she was asking of him because he hadn't given her a proper contract and job description. So I helped her learn how to ask the proper questions to learn exactly what it was that he expected from her. And I told her, give it a year. You need to give this a full year. And she committed to it. And I just was amazed by her commitment and how she did the hard work and how she grew and became more confident in herself. And she got 2 promotions that first year, continued to coach with me. And then just this last January, she was offered a C-suite position and her income doubled from the time she came in to see me to begin with.
Just from changing her mindset.
And doing the work.
And doing the work, but that's
Yes.
I mean, it sounds simple. I know it's not, but that's all really that was needed.
Well, a lot of us don't really know what to do.
No,
we get
exactly.
stuck.
And that's why we have a coach, because we're so used to doing things the way we do it, and we don't see anything wrong. It's always them, them, them. It's never me, me, me. And then, like you said, with the one client, you realize that, well, maybe it is kind of me. Maybe it's something that I'm doing I don't realize I'm doing.
Right.
And then when you figure out what that is and you change it, the differences are, I'm sure, crazy to see. But how do you help somebody overcome that mentality of, I can't change, I don't know, I don't know what to do. I don't think I can do anything about it. This is how it's always been done, yada, yada, yada. I can't mentality. How do you help people get over that?
Well, I have two forms of coaching. One's one-on-one in my office, which is in downtown Hickory above Strategic Wellness. The other one is in doing group coaching, and that's more of a platform I use for business and work teams. I can do a DNA profile where we compile all of the assessments and then do percentages for the entire group, and then address how those conflicting habits of thinking can cause tension within the organization. A lot of it is creating an awareness, and I have an entire process of how I do that, mostly by asking questions that are going to cause them to get really honest with themselves. Because, saying, oh, diets don't work isn't true. No. Diet has become a 4-letter word to them, and they're just unwilling to do the work that they need to do to make it happen.
Exactly.
But when the weight starts falling off and your clothes fit better, then the mind will flip and go in a positive direction and see it as a good thing rather than a constriction.
Exactly. No, because like saying diets don't work, I mean, not every diet is for everybody. You got to figure out what works for you, and that's for anything out there. Like even working out. I mean, I don't personally like going to the gym and working out, but so I find different ways to get exercise that's not necessarily going to a gym lifting weights, because I tell people, if you want to make a positive change for yourself, you're going to have to find ways to do it that you enjoy, because if you don't enjoy doing it, you're not going to stick with it. I was just talking to a patient about that this morning, because she said that after she gets back from vacation, she wants to get her health back under control, like take better care of herself. It's always funny how we wait till we get back from vacation.
Tomorrow,
not tomorrow. I'll wait till next week we back for the beach, and then we'll get serious, right? But anyway, no, she was talking about how she's going to start working out again. She's going to start eating healthier again. And I said, well, slow your roll. I was like, maybe not do everything at one time, because sometimes if we make a huge change, we're going to get overwhelmed and burn out, and we're not going to stick with it. So I said, maybe focus on one aspect of that. Maybe kind of clean your diet up a little bit, and then start implementing some working exercises on top of that. Because if you go from going to the gym 3 times a week from never, and eating salad every day from fast food, you're not going to stick to that.
That's right.
So it's even more important with people like you who are helping people that change their mindset, because changing your mindset is a lot harder to do than going to the gym and eating healthy, I would imagine.
Yes, that's a good point, and I'm glad you brought it up, because one of the coaching packages that I use the most is a 12-week program where you address each of the habits of thinking. So you go through them one at a time, and one concept builds on the next. And it's amazing at the end of the 12 weeks, the amount of difference that you'll see in someone. And it starts with really asking yourself, when you open your mouth and something comes out, is that even true? Is that true? And looking at that thought, literally taking it captive and going,
giving it a name.
That's not even true. I've been saying this my whole life, and it's complete and utter BS, if you will.
No, yeah, absolutely. Giving it a name, giving power over it. So before we wrap up here, what would you suggest, other than, and we'll give your information here on how to contact you, but what are some ways that people can just start? What are some good ways to start if they're trying to make a change in their habits, at their mindset? Other than obviously contacting you, what are some things they could do or start thinking about doing that can maybe help them get on that path to better clarity, I should say?
Getting real quiet and taking a look inside and being really honest with yourself about, am I happy with who I am right now?
Yeah. Internal, yeah.
And if so, great. How can I build upon that? How can I improve upon that? Like I said earlier, who do I want to be in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years? And really getting intentional about how you're going to go about doing that. Journaling is a fantastic way to do that. And then making a plan on how you're going to go about doing that, putting the people in place that can help you get to where you want to be.
Because it makes it easier for professionals like you when somebody's done a little bit of that homework where you're not having to start from scratch because to use the example of like anxiety, depression, the biggest way to overcome those issues is to realize that you have them, to admit that, hey, I do have this, that's what's causing this. And then you can put in some plan there to kind of figure out, okay, this is what I need to do. This is not true. This is coming from my head. Now I can seek out somebody to help me overcome it and tell them where to go next. Right. Because that's kind of showing your clients that they're ready to work. They're right. Vulnerable. Because you're not going to get anywhere if somebody's not going to open up to you.
Yeah. And, it's so interesting to me. People spend billions of dollars in the diet industry.
Oh, yeah.
In the beauty industry, laser facials, Botox, fillers, makeup, hair, you name it. But what is really beautiful is when you connect with somebody who has a sparkle in their eye because they really like who they are and they're not putting up their false self and masking and pretending to be someone they're not. They're showing up as their true selves in their true essence and they're owning it. And to me, that's the most attractive thing in the world. And those are the kinds of people that I like to hang out with.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
So wrapping up, how can someone get a hold of you? How can someone become a client of yours? Kind of give your information, your social media, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. My website is it's ClarityLifeCoaching.com. I can be reached by email at Catherine@ClarityLifeCoaching.com. You can find me on Instagram at Clarity_Life_Coaching. Or on Facebook at Clarity Life Coaching.
Awesome. And do you have any final thoughts for us before we leave? Or one last little piece of advice for somebody that's thinking about trying to make that change but hasn't got to that point yet?
Just to not let themselves be mastered by fear. You should do something that really scares you. Every single day. If you are in your comfort zone, you are not growing.
Exactly.
So I would encourage you to just get out there and do things that you've never done before that then you're going to get things you've never gotten.
Exactly. Well, yeah, we don't grow in our comfort zone, and what nothing ventured, nothing gained. Is that the saying?
That's one of them.
That's one.
I've got a bunch.
You've got a bunch, I'm sure. Well, I appreciate you coming out today, Catherine. Thanks for taking time to kind of explain a little bit about how we can think through the madness, I should say.
The madness. Yeah. We don't want madness in our brain.
No.
It's precious real estate up there, and you have to be very, very conscious of what you let in.
Exactly.
Thanks, Matt, for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
If you'd like to learn more about something you just heard, or are interested to see how chiropractic care can help you, you can visit our website to schedule an appointment at newdirectionschiropractic-nc.com. Be sure to follow our social media accounts for more tips and information on how to be a better you. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.